You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
I let you ride the worm.
Hi there, and welcome to the show. I'm here with Paul, and today we are ranking all of the Sierra adventure games. So, each of us independently picked our own top 10 Sierra titles out of all of the Sierra games, and we've ranked them from 1 to 10, where number 1 is our top pick, and number 10 is the lowest game that still made it on the list. And then we've assigned points, 10 points for a number 1 pick, down to 1 point for a number 10 pick, and combined our lists, and at the end, you're going to get a juicy little number. What do you think? You in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Right on, good. Well, let's get down to it then, because this was one of the hardest episodes I've ever prepared for. I was in the living room, tears in my eyes. My son comes in. He's just like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I only have 10 slots to pick my favorite Sierra games." And he shook his head and walked away and didn't take me seriously at all. But
that was the right thing to do.
I've been wrestling with this quite a bit. It wasn't easy for you either, I hope. God, it wasn't easy for you.
It was okay. It wasn't that hard. I was pretty flippant about it. It was hard curating the list, but it wasn't hard putting it in order, because I know myself by now that there's no point in me like hyper obsessing over some definitive number, because I will change my mind tomorrow. Like I will look at my list tomorrow and be like, I would have flipped 2 and 3, and you know what I mean. So it's just I wasn't too. I mean, I gave it a good amount of thought, but look, whatever. I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm using my Ring cam as like a child monitor, and my son keeps just pulling his underwear just all the way up his ass, so it's like a thong, and then slapping his butt. And I think I'm gonna have to turn this off to focus on the episode. I'm not even sure this is like legal footage to have on a phone.
Is it even legal to talk about? I don't know what's the rules here. But no, it's true. And I did say to the games that I didn't choose, with all of my heart, I swear I will choose you tomorrow when I'm asked this question again. I swear to you. It's so hard to pick from your children. They're all so wonderful. But I'm going to try, and I'm going to start with my number 10 spot. So,
by the way, that's not as insane as it sounds, because I do that same thing where I project personalities onto objects. I blame a childhood full of movies like Brave Little Toaster. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Can you blame somebody who grew up loving that movie that like when you go to sell something, it's like, "No, please, I want to stay with you forever." And you're like, settle down, abstract piece of metal. You don't you don't even know me anymore. We've grown apart. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we're okay. Here's quick foundation. First of all, this is crazy that we've never ranked Sierra games. We've been a podcast for 8 years, maybe 9. I don't remember if our first year was 17 or 18, but we've been a podcast for a depressing amount of years if you do the math, because math is like that. It's always depressing. It's always a bummer, right? Math is never good news. It's always like weight gain, budget lost, age did. But it's weird that we've never actually just good old-fashioned ranked the best Sierra games, because that's kind of our thing here. So that's weird, is my point. And what we're going to do is Anna's going to go first just to eliminate confusion. We're going to tell you the bloody game. We're going to quickly summarize it. We're going to say why we picked it. The other person's going to judge them harshly for their choice and whatever else, and then we'll move on to the next. So
Correct.
get us bloody started with your number 10.
All right, so number 10 on my list.
So sorry. Everybody needs to know this. Anna texted me before the show. She's trying to, because we don't like to talk about what we're going to talk about on the show. That way it's a surprise to us. You guys get genuine reactions. We're not here like faking hearing a joke a second time sort of vibe. And she's just like, I just want to say that, one of the series is on my list more than once. Like, as if we didn't all immediately know it's Quest for Glory. For her to just be like, wow, trying to, like, sneak that in a manila envelope underneath the whatever. Okay,
What?
so.
No.
Sorry. You're good.
Absolutely not. I'm good?
Number 10, please.
Okay, number 10 is on this list because it is a for one, it's in a series that I quite love. But for two, it made it to the list specifically because it has a unique attribute that I feel no other Sierra game has. And that is Leisure Suit Larry Love for Sale. A lovely game. It was done in 1996, so pretty late in the Sierra catalog. And we have our hapless Larry has ended up, after escaping a rather difficult predicament at the beginning of the game, he's on a cruise ship. And the captain of the cruise ship, Captain Thigh, says that if you can win these super sexual contests to show that you're an amazing sexually prowess kind of a guy, then the prize is an additional free week on the cruise with Captain Thigh. And, why else would she want you to prove yourself unless she wanted you to meet up with her later? But yeah, so the game plays a little bit different. It is a point-and-click game, but it's also a parser game. And so far, the only other game I really know that is like that is Starship Titanic, which is a Douglas Adams game. So it's unique, and there's a lot of little Easter eggs and secret things hidden. So I also found out when Daniel was playing this game with Allo that the fountain, the golden fountain, it's the guy peeing. It's pee in the fountain. I didn't realize that all the time I had played it, and knowing this just makes it such a better game. So yeah, that's number 10. It had to make it to the list.
Oddly innocent of you. Suspiciously so.
In a Larry
Clearly
game.
never spent time in Germany.
No, I have not. But yay, there was the German-made Leisure Suit Larry sequels that came later, like Wet Dreams Don't Dry and that. And I did play them, and they were pretty funny. They weren't
Brilliant
bad.
Transition there. That was really nice.
Thank
Sometimes those little snapshots make me feel like a real life podcast. That was so competent of you. Earlier I said fucking like a weird groany like fuck, but and when I said it, it was when you were mentioning Captain Thigh, and I just want everyone to know I'm not lusting after, Captain Thigh or whatever. It's just that I had this immediate realization that Anna is way more prepared for this episode than I am. And it just hit me as you were talking. I'm like, fuck, dude. She knows, like, the year it was released. She's, like, giving us, like, back-of-the-box synopsis on what goes on. Like, I'm in trouble. And this was my idea. I told Anna, like, we should give a quick summary of the game, as to not assume that everybody knows every game. And she took my advice and actually did it. Whereas I just, fucked off. Frolicked into the sunset. But
Indeed.
I'll make it, I'll get through this. We'll be fine. Okay, first I'm supposed to criticize and or comment about your choice, and is unexpected. I didn't expect you to pick. Is Leisure, if this doesn't spoil your next 9 choices, is Leisure Suit Larry, is this your favorite Leisure Suit Larry?
No.
Ooh. I wonder if I'm wrong and there isn't multiple Quest for Glory, but there's multiple, because I knew of Anna that Larry was like the game I associated with you, Anna. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize you kind of like Quest for Glory even more, but I always thought you were like the go-to like Larry fanatic. So it's bringing that memory back to me that you really like this series. And by being a woman who likes this series, you often give it credibility because it's such an easy game to write off and call distasteful and aged poorly and stuff like that. But it's like You can be like my black friend. It's like she's a girl who likes Larry. I'm allowed to like Larry.
Well, Al said that the 7th game in the series was his favorite, and I have to say, and I kind of agree with him, it is one of the better made adventure games that existed out there at the time, and maybe even in for quite some time after. It was just really well put together. It made a lot of sense. It was a nice combination of mini games and story and adventure and sex.
Larry lended himself to the cartoonish design better than any other Sierra game.
Yeah.
The Larry series was always more bendy and stretchy and LucasArtsy in graphic design, so it lended itself really well to that. I recently, like 2 or 3, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever, with time, it's all very weird and fuzzy. I played through all the Larry games, but I didn't play through 7 because I had just played the first, 5, and I put on 7, and it starts you out, and this isn't to yeah, you know where I'm going. It's not to like condemn the entire game as an experience. It's just I was really burnt out of Larry, and then I put on 7, and it's like the first opening puzzle is like a timed, you're just like stuck in a. It was a very frustrating opening to the game where is it timed?
It's not timed. It just makes you feel like it's timed. But it is frustrating, and often people have had to look up hints for that one. It's not a straightforward puzzle, although rather satisfying.
Right. Just a bit of a rough design choice as far as starting the game with it, like any other point. But whatever. My point was maybe we'll have to replay that in the next who knows how long and do a show on it.
Oh, I would love that so much.
Awesome. Okay, this is good. We have a whole episode here. That's good. This isn't going to be us just saying a thing and we're done, because that's just half of number 10. As a matter of fact, we should probably move it along a little even briskly.
Yes.
Okay, that's a word if you want it to be. My number 10 is Phantasmagoria 2.
Ooh.
Right? Now, what I should have done is used Anna talking about Larry to quickly look stuff up about this game to talk about it, but that's okay. We're gonna just go off the hip here as if I've played it before and just put it on my list of top 10 best Sierra games. Phantasmagoria 2 is a game about, well, it's an FMV game, full motion video, so it's you're controlling actual humans, which is surreal and weird and fun. And also not as cool as I made it sound by saying you control actual humans. You know what I mean. We all know what I mean. That's a bold statement. Yeah, it's absolutely not true. But anyway, it's a full motion video game. It's a horror. God, well, that's just facts. What about the plot? The plot is you start off playing as Curtis, or maybe it's Paul. I always get him and his real name mixed up, but it's fine. It's one of those two. And you're just like a pretty on the surface, a pretty like vanilla office cubicle working kind of dude, and weird stuff starts to happen, and wouldn't you believe it?
What? In a video game?
Yeah, just a bunch of the weirdest things. Some of it's even pretty spooky, and that's Phantasmagoria 2. So, okay, for real, how do you describe Phantasmagoria 2? Like as a plot?
Oh, yeah, I guess you would say a fellow, he has to go to his office, but strange things start happening. Computers start doing things kind of all of themselves, and there's just all this kind of odd stuff. And he starts to kind of figure out that maybe the world isn't as it appears, or maybe he's not as he appears to the world. That's
listen to her, guys. That's it. That's the stuff. And because you were doing words for me, I was able to look it up, and here we go. Curtis Craig is a troubled 26-year-old in therapy. He does not seem 26 in this game, by the way.
No way he's 26. He's like 37 or something.
Not to be a total bitch, but...
No.
Okay, a troubled 26-year-old in therapy after a mental institution stay. Right, that's right. See, but you don't know that at first. That's the brilliant...
No, that's a later thing, yeah.
Yeah. And basically one of your colleagues gets murdered, and then all of a sudden the murdering starts to spread throughout your little office, but you kind of know everybody, and then the ending kind of infamously loses its mind, and it's not great. But I picked this game because the writing is phenomenal. It's if I was to, maybe this would be a future episode too, if we could look at games and strip the game part out, because that's part of the experience, but it can also get in the way of a really good story, right? If it's really clunky design or whatever. I actually kind of like the end of this game. And if we were to just look at the story being told in each game, like this would be more top 3, because it's just this the story itself is
good writing.
Yeah, it's so compelling. It's so good. As we were going to say with the therapy and the institutionalization earlier, is that because you start out just in your cubicle, and then all of a sudden you kind of get like more flashes or intimations that you've been in an institution while you're going to therapy, and it's just all paced and written immaculately. It's a really, really good story. So
yeah, it's so human-like, which is funny considering, but it's so human-like and like something that just could happen to anybody when they're at work, that it makes it scarier somehow.
Yeah, right. Well said. There is like a realistic fear to it, again, until the ending. And it does a really good job of telling like a real human story that I think was definitely not common at the time, but it's still not that common that you get like really gritty, grounded human storytelling without them like, I don't know, overdoing it. There's a lot of games right now, like just the modern games, that like just way too on the nose with that, where it's just a bit much. But this game handles it, I don't know, in a really good way. Like you've lost your parents to traumatic deaths, and you experience hallucinations as well as horrific nightmares, and you know.
And there's a lot of personality development in a few different directions over the course of it as well. And it really manages to go deeper into relationships. And it does touch on ideas that were quite, I think, early for their time, just sexually and in other directions.
Right. I think it's credited with like the first game with LB, that representation.
Exactly.
Which is cool. Oh, and not to mention all the BDSM kink in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a super good time.
Like,
and that's when it's a great time to be an FMV, because it's, you know, real people doing sexy
real
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
50 Shades of FMV.
Well, okay, we'll let it. We'll let her through.
Well, I'm surprised it's on your list. I am surprised that you picked this game. I did not see that coming, Paul. I actually, on no part of me thought that Phantasmagoria in any way was going to be here. But now I kind of understand why it is, especially when the writing is a big part of it.
Okay, it's miraculous you understand why. That's my fear, right? That I would say the thing and then not be able to explain why it's there. So I'm glad you got the point of it, because it's a really good game. Like I guess it's really underrated, and I think that they did this game a huge disservice by calling it Phantasmagoria 2, because it has absolutely nothing to do with the first one, and it's way better than the first one, and you see it and you're just like, if you played Phantasmagoria, you're like, I barely want to play a second one. And if you haven't played Phantasmagoria 1, then you're like, why would I play 2? So I feel like it really like neutered the potential of this game.
Well, it assumes that a person understands what Phantasmagoria means, because it's essentially a contained story of, you know, mystery, and sort of, it's meant to be like, because that's what she said, Lorelei said she wanted them to be their own all the way from the beginning, kind of like Black Mirror. It's like the first one has nothing to do with the second one, even if some of the cast might be the same. It was always meant to be like that.
Yeah, okay. Two things. One, I was way too harsh on Phantasmagoria back there. It's just because it is a good game and I do genuinely like it and have really fond childhood memories of it. It's really a different game. It's a campy game. Like it's fun because of how campy it is. Whereas Phantasmagoria 2 is actually psychologically thrilling.
True.
It's just completely different wheelhouse, considering they're both FMV Sierra games with the horror aesthetic and the same name.
That's fair.
That's where the similarities stop, okay? but crap, what was your point? It was really good. Oh, right. If they were going to do what you were saying, which is, you know, almost like Twilight Zone, and then each episode's different or whatever, then they should have been given these games subtitles. Like a subheader. Like, right. You know, I mean, okay, all right, it is a puzzle of flesh, but, like, nobody thinks of it as a puzzle of flesh. Phantasmagoria 2. I just shot myself in the foot because it does have a subtitle. Maybe the first one needed it. I don't know. They didn't pull that off. Is the point. Anyway, how's your number 9 coming along? How's that cooking?
It's looking pretty good. It's a total shocker. So my number 9 is Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness. This is the first time Quest for Glory has crept onto this list here. And it is...
We're only on the second one. Okay, sorry.
This one is more of an Eastern European Gothic kind of a game. It was made... See, I have it on my little list. It was made in 1993. What?
We do. You could also listen to just the very last episode where we go through this in detail. No, but for preservation, please keep going. I also think it was adorable that you already were like, see, it's only the first time it's showing up. Here is my second choice. Okay, sorry.
So the reason I like it and why did I pick it is it resonated with my childhood. So I would call this a soul connection game, and that's why it made it onto the list. It's also got an amazing soundtrack and a great story. You end up in Mordavia as a hero, and you've already been through all these other quests, and you've gained your place as a hero. Everybody respects you. Everybody knows you're a hero. And then, boom, dark magic comes. You end up in a cave. You've lost all of your possessions. You've lost all of your money, and you end up going to a town where nobody knows who you are, and everybody's suspicious of you. And they're like, oh, yeah, hero. We don't need any self-proclaimed heroes around here. And over the course of the game, going through different Russian storylines that at least hit me because of my heritage with Rusalka and with Baba Yaga, at the end, you end up being the hero of the town, and all of a sudden you earned the respect again after having gotten it so easily in the previous games. And so that, and just, it's a beautiful game. It's really well written. Paul liked it even. So that's why it made it to number 9 on my list.
You can't prove that, first of all, unless you played the last episode. Yeah, I really actually briefly flirted with it being in this list because it left such a good impact on me. It was, maybe there's a bit of like confirmation, or not, recency bias, I should say, but it's such a good game. It's really good storytelling, really good writing. All these little human tales woven together made it extremely satisfying. And if it wasn't for, I could say if it wasn't for nostalgia blocking out any available slots in my top 10, it probably deserves to be in the top 10. For it's definitely like a better vehicle for storytelling than some of the games on my list. It's super good. Yeah. Annoyingly so.
So yeah, go back and listen to the episode previous and we can go on and on about it. But for now, what is your 9th choice?
My 9th choice is Leisure Suit Larry 3. 3? Passionate Patty and the pulsating pectorials?
Oh my god, is it because of the end of the game?
That's a really good point. Maybe. The end of the game is... I fucked myself. I should have been looking up this game while you were talking again. I'm going to get there. By number 7 or 6, I will have figured out how to read a synopsis out here. The end of the game is, for anybody who needs quick sharpening, as I just had to do a second ago, is the fourth wall shattering, where you walk through... What's the movie studio that always shows you, like, I think it's Warner Brothers. They always show you, like, the lot, like the behind the scenes, the buildings. And
yeah, just for fun, they run around the Warner movie lot.
Right, thank you. It's exactly that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sierra kind of does that. You get to walk around if Sierra was a movie lot, and you see, like, props that are made for King's Quest 4 and Police Quest 2 and all the SCI Zero era games. And it's just super fun. It's, like, one of the best moments in any game ever.
That's why I figured it was on your list.
There's also that scene in the shower where the camera is facing... The camera's on the floor facing the ceiling, and Larry stood over it. So you see, his feet, the bottom of his feet, and then his dick and balls. And it's just a wild design choice they went with that.
I love that so much. I remember laughing out loud when I got to that. I was just like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm not going to pretend to just know what this shit's about, so this is me reading what it's about to you guys. But I'll do it in like a YouTuber voice. I don't know how to do a YouTuber voice. In 1989. There we go. There's kind of that. But that's for the end of the sentence. Sierra Online's graphical adventure game where Larry Laffer, after a divorce, searches for love on a tropical island. But the player then takes control of his new love interest, Passionate Patty. Is that at all what YouTubers sound like?
Yeah, I mean, the YouTuber that sounds like that YouTuber.
Your silence said it all. That's fair. You get to play as Patty and as Larry. That's probably why I liked it so much. Yeah. It's just like a fun little, pretty contained little quest. You kind of just do a little hop around the island to a few different places. There's not, I guess what I'm saying, there's not like a ton of locations, but it's fun because you get to play those locations as both characters. That's kind of my thing. I really like switching between two characters.
And you get to smoke weed in it.
Yeah, that's right. You get to smoke weed, you have sex, you see boobies where the nipple is 1 pixel, you see Larry's taint, like literally. Again, it's just a wild place to put a camera for an art perspective, is on the floor of a shower looking up, but alas, they did it, and that's why
bad thing.
It's in my top whatever.
Good.
Sweet. Okay, what's your number 8?
Okay, so my number 8 is here because I would categorize it as a formative game. This is the game that showed me that the concept of walking around in a 3D environment to accomplish things and have a larger goal is something that would appeal to me. And so my number 8 choice is Donald Duck's Playground from 1984.
From 1984.
That's from 1984. Yeah. This is this is the original edutainment game. You're a duck and you get to go to all these different places and I love how the city works. You can walk around all 3D, walk into any store and they're like, "Oh, do you want to work here for like 5 minutes?" Sure. So you like yeah, exactly, just like that. That was very good. So you can like go in and catch fruit, for example, or direct a train and the purpose of all of it is to save up enough money to upgrade your kick-ass neighborhood playground that you have. So you can put in a new slide, put in a new building, but you can actually walk around the screen, walk into places, switch. It was really adventure game light is what you could call it. And it introduced a ton of concepts to me as well. So it was fun. And it taught strategic planning and money management in a way that no other game would have been able to teach me at that age. Doesn't work, terrible with money, but I'm glad I learned.
Right, that's appropriate. You said that with a question mark too. I'm glad I learned. Like, it is a oddly fun game. It's more fun than I feel like it has business being, considering the state of the graphics and just like kind of the. Well, I mean, what it was from like '82 or something like
84,
that.
yeah.
84. Okay, yeah. It's a really old game, but it is oddly fun. It's my favorite of the 3 Disney ones by far. Mm-hmm. Is there 3? There's Mickey, Space, whatever, Donald something or other that you're talking about, and then bloody...
The Winnie the Pooh...
Yeah, 100,000 Acres
yeah.
of Forest and stuff. It's the official working title, I believe.
And I think there's a Black Cauldron.
Oh my God! Right, of course.
Yeah.
But you know those prior 3 are like they're all in the white box. You know they're like they share something that I can't articulate, a kinship, if you will, a brotherhood.
And they had a fold-out flap on the front, so you not only got the front and the back of the box, but you actually got to open it up and see the little scenes from the game, which I thought was a really cool, novel thing for a game released in '84. And then on the inside of the box, you've got your clamshell style, so it's got the plastic in there.
Right. Were you just smacking your hands around?
That is a little just to stimulate. I don't have the box in my hand. I do every game I am talking about, and probably every game Paul is talking about, I do own, but I haven't brought them out in a big stack this time.
Yeah, thank God. It would be 3 hours later in the day right now if you had remembered to do that, because that's the only reason you didn't.
It's already taking forever. Could we have your number 8, please? Oh
my God, we're only number 8. All right, let's go. Okay, I like what you did last time. You said shit about it before you disclosed what it was, right? Mm-hmm. So there's like this veil of mystery. So I'm gonna copy that. The year was 1988. It's a classic Sierra. We got to stop with the saying that Sierra Online adventure game. Okay, I don't know. How did you do that? I already want to say the thing. Okay, I know how to do it. When I played this game, I have no nostalgia for it. I played it for the first time like 5 years ago-ish, and something happens in the game that took me completely by surprise.
I know what it is.
Ah, very exciting. Wait, do you? Okay, do you want to guess? You want to say?
Okay, King's Quest 4.
Yeah, it is. Awesome. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So and I know what the thing is, too.
Say the thing.
They went to nighttime.
It goes to nighttime, everyone. Now, listen, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound very exciting at all. So you're telling me days shift slowly into night. Okay. Man. But it's mind-blowing at the time because the whole theme and tone of the game changes. First of all, yes, changing from day to night in 1988 wasn't very common. Granted, they're shipping these games on a limited number of floppy disks because floppy disks weigh a ton. You can only put so many in a box, but blah blah blah. The floppy disks only hold 1.4 megabytes of data, so having nighttime versions of games would mean double the amount of room, or in the case where the programmers got really clever, like with King's Quest 4, they handled it with like overlays that were less data. But the point is, changing from day to night actually was kind of a big deal at the time. But that's not it. That's not it. I barely would have noticed if it simply just was nighttime. It's more that the whole game shifts from a Roberta Williams fairy tale game to a spooky time. Mm-hmm. A spooky time. It's like it gets scary. I felt like horror was too much, but spooky's too little. It gets scary. That's the word.
It's very as well when you're young and playing it. It's even now, but yeah, because you say that and you didn't even play it as a kid.
I was 38 or so. Yeah. But because Yeah, it's a little scary because, you don't know when like a zombie or something's going to like jump out of, climb out from the earth and start chasing you, and you have to walk through a haunted mansion, which for the first half of the game is just a mansion, right? It's just a big old house. And then the sun goes down and all of a sudden there's dead babies in it.
Yeah.
Which is true and
And
dark.
little kids and
And such. Yeah. And so it's fun because it mixes, two parts. It's kind of like half fairy tale, half scary, with the overall antagonist being, witchy, which I guess ties it all together, or whatever I'm trying to say. King's Quest IV, that's bloody number 8. What's your number 7?
my number 7 is, okay, so here is a game. It is a parser game, and I love it for so many reasons. One is it has a map that everybody hates and that I love. Another is I love the humor and I love the references. So, okay, this game, what?
Okay. I don't think I can guess it. I've wanted to, but
This game is inspired by Arabian Nights and is built around time-based events.
Okay, now I'm realizing that you've been trying not to giggle this whole time, so that tells me what series it is. Okay.
You have to up your stats, defeat elementals before they destroy the city, and my game is Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire.
Oh, the worst Quest for Glory, too. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's there.
The one where you travel using a maze.
Yes, so that's the
Fantastic.
reason I love this game. So this game was made in 1990, and it's the first game I ever experienced that had a maze you literally had to memorize. I'd played Police Quest 1, but it was not quite the same. I mean, I did memorize the driving map, but not quite the same. So, but just to get into the game for a minute, you are in this big desert and you have to essentially save the city from elementals. And if you don't, the whole city will get destroyed, and you get to watch it happen. It's kind of on a timeline, and it's got cool references to, like, say, Groucho Marx and just all sorts of things you wouldn't even know about if you weren't at least 20 years older than I am, which is really good. For me, you get to make friends with the tree. I memorized every single alley, every single hallway. I could get all over the map without even looking at the map, and it was so satisfying to just know where I was at all times in this game. And I do credit it to me being able to read maps extremely well, always, for like my whole life. I still can now. And then the second half of the game, you go to a sister city, which is exactly the same, but it's like flipped. So it's backwards, just such a cool idea, Shapier to Rassier. So yeah, definitely makes it onto my list. Such a funny, such a wonderful game.
It's absolutely neither of those things. Yeah, I can't believe the way you just gaslit everyone into thinking it's a good time. So it's irresponsible, frankly.
It's a good
so
game.
Convincing.
It's a beautiful game.
You would think by the way that you're describing it, but it turns out, all right, that's mean enough. It's fine.
All right, what's your number 7 if it's so good then?
Well, my number 7 has incredibly realistic graphics. Like, really, really, really real.
What is it, Gold Rush?
It's maybe, I mentioned with Phantasmagoria 2 that it was, if we were basing just on the merit of the storytelling, if you were to extract the story from it.
Oh, Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, exactly. It's Gabriel Knight 2. I think Gabriel Knight 2 is probably the best story in an adventure game with a few asterisk marks. That it's really. I mean, I guess I could say the best story in a Sierra game. I think. I feel nervous saying that, as if anyone cares. Like if like as if I would be held to that in some sort of meaningful fashion going forward. But it's fine, whatever. It's a really good story. So it's an FMV game again, full motion video game. See, to get it, really real graphics because it's real footage. So anyway, it's an FMV game from 1995. Where you play Gabriel Knight. But it's Gabriel Knight 2, the Beast Within, or a Beast Within. I think. The Beast Within.
It's one of the big boxes I don't own, so.
And it's one of the coolest box designs ever, with the face poking through the sheet. Before that was like a trope. I think before it was a trope. But anyway, so it's a supernatural story about Gabriel Knight, who's investigating werewolf killings in Munich, Germany, while his assistant Grace researches historical connections to King Ludwig. And what's interesting about that is that Grace is covering these historical artifacts while Gabriel's covering the supernatural. So it's almost like Gabriel's assigned to the fiction and Grace is assigned to the Gase is assigned to the non-fictional aspects of it. And then what Jane Jensen, the writer, developer of this game, does brilliantly is blends the two together. Mm-hmm. So you start to have a really difficult time tracking what actually happened between what was he called? The Swan King or the fairy tale king, mm-hmm. Ludwig. He was the one that built, I want to remember this on my own. But you know what? I wouldn't even be able to pronounce it if I remembered it. I just see a bunch of W's and V's, and it's like the Schwanschwing. I don't know. It's the castle that Disney based their logo off of.
Right.
It's the most fantastical castle, real castle that there is. It's the real life Disney castle. So Ludwig built it. He was really, really good friends with, really good friends with, if you know what I mean, with Wagner. We can't prove that. The game only hints at it. Mm-hmm. But he was really close with Wagner, and they just immerse you in the story of this king and of Wagner and of how their lives are crossing and everything like that. And then there's like this little element of werewolf, but it's like obviously the werewolf part isn't true. So I don't mean that they blur that in, but it's like, I don't know. She just does a really good job of making you want to, like, I finished the game and then spent like 3 days researching and learning about Ludwig and Wagner.
The first two are, I haven't played the third one, so I don't know, but the first two games are definitely like that. We still haven't done our Gabriel Knight 2 episode, I don't think. Have we? Did we? I don't know.
We did, and then we decided we would redo it.
Oh, right.
We even promised Jess that we would.
That's right, we did.
So we have to. But anyway, this game is, I'm picking it because it has incredible, like, the storytelling is phenomenal. The gameplay side of things is a little dodgy. It has a really cool the gameplay mechanics are dodgy enough to put it all the way down at number 7, considering I'm saying it's the best story, right? That, and I'm just not a huge FMV person because I really like being able to freely explore environments, and you can't do that in FMVs, understandably. I don't know, it's railroaded to a degree. There is the tape recorder mechanic that's super fun. They just don't use it enough. Anyway, okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to figure out at the beginning of the game. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this tape recorder? How does any of this work? I'm very confused, especially if you're not familiar with the series.
Right, because you think you'll use the tape recorder like all the time,
but
it's really just like one puzzle. Like, they should have used it more because it was actually quite fun, splicing all the conversations together and such.
Yeah, I like stuff like that. It's like what they did in Under a Killing Moon. There's like neat ways to splice together information. It seems quite convoluted, but it's quite fun when you get into it.
Quite.
So my next game is my second edutainment game on the list. That's the word I'm looking for. This game is, well, probably on Paul's list, and you probably already know what it is.
How dare you call it edutainment? Man.
So this game was made in 1988, and it is called Gold Rush. So it's kind of neat because it's at the beginning of the game, it's a timed game. You have to go off and find your fortune, and there's the little things you have to do. But literally, you have 14 minutes into the game to get sorted what you want to do, and then the gold rush happens. And your house will continue to drop in value, stores will close, and you'll lose the ability to leave town very quickly. So at that point, you actually can't really meander around. But if you do make it through, you can do, like, what are the routes? You've got Cape Horn, there's the Panama route, and there's a land route you can take. And you can also die just about anywhere, like randomly, like you can get cholera or whatever. So you just
as you should. There's a million ways to die in the West.
Totally, 6 million ways to die. Choose one. I don't know. It's you have to eventually get a hold of your long lost brother and get some donkeys, very stubborn donkeys, and try to find some gold. Total asses. You get to see maps and you get to learn things, and somehow it's a fun game. So fun that it made it all the way to number 6 on my list.
No. It's so fun that it also made its way to number 6 on my list.
No way.
Really did. I swear to God, yeah.
That's amazing. Please tell me about your number 6.
Here's why we're both right. Because there's 3 different games to play here. It's so fun. It's so fun, you guys. Come on. Brian played it for us. Brian Manal, shout out Death Defy, and played it for us because we wouldn't stop talking about it for a weird phase that we went through a year or 2 ago. But if you haven't played it, it's so fun. It has a wild 9 out of 10 score on Steam, which actually seems maybe a little too high, suspiciously high, for a Sierra game that
maybe only 60 people have downloaded it.
Right. But yeah, you can go around Cape Horn, or you can do like an Oregon Trail style journey across the country, or you can take the ship, which has really beautiful graphics. It's so pretty to look at. It's like the most beautiful game. Man, it's the most beautiful AGI game. I don't even think that's a bold statement. I feel like most people would agree to that. It's
really the maximum amount they could do with AGI before they moved on to the next technology. Like, you cannot get better than that.
Exactly. This game was took so long to make that Doug and Ken McNeil, who worked on it, who also spent a lot of time on the King's Quest games, they ended up like sleeping literally in a van outside in the parking lot of Sierra, of the brown Sierra building that most of you could picture by me just saying that now from the end of Space Quest 3. They were sleeping out in their van just trying to get it done because something to do with probably rent or, I don't know. Extended stays, let's say, but it's like the game came out after AGI was already dead, so it's like, it was definitely the farthest they could push that engine, and it looks like it. It's beautiful, and there's all the different routes, and you're basically selling your home in Brooklyn, going all the way out to California, like a young Engelbert Picklebender once did, and you have this annoying, just this asshole donkey who just constantly betrays you. You get shot if you pan gold in the wrong spot. It's a brutal, unloving game that's a lot of fun to play. Get it put in you. Number 5.
All right, number 5. My number 5 is, let's see, one of the slightly earlier games. It also has a map because I have a thing about maps. Let's see, what else could I say? You end up marrying a hooker. That make it pretty clear, maybe.
Yeah, you've definitely whittled it down to one game.
So it's a police quest, and I'm sorry, hooker is probably not a word I'm supposed to say. A lady of the night? What is the words now? I'm not sure. But anyways.
I think it's whore. I think
whore.
You're looking for...
If we're in Canada, it's a whore in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, that sounded like a barn owl.
Yeah. So Police Quest in Pursuit of the Death Angel. I chose it because it was my very first police procedural Sierra game. It was my very first driving game. It got me into wanting to play driving games later on. And it's cool because it's actually a game that is grounded in real police work. So this guy that was a cop, Jim Walls, when he was done working and kind of frustrated with all of it, he ended up hooking up in with Ken and Sierra, and he's like, well, policing. I bet you could make a super fun game. And it turns out it is a super fun game. As long as you remember to walk around your car before you get into it. Did.
Sorry,
yeah,
that was...
There's puns, there's funny stuff, and anyways, you have to catch the Death Angel, and in the end, you get married, and that's essentially the whole storyline. And maybe I'm not selling it as being that high on my list, but I love that game. I hug it. I own it. I hug it. I love the map, and I love the game. And it's funny. It's funny in ways you wouldn't think. Like, it is not a straight game.
Right. No, it's super gay. I don't know.
That too.
That was a weird overcorrection back there with the hug it thing. You're like, I physically hug it. Okay, get off my back about whether or not I like this game.
I just love it so much. It's special.
Yeah, it's okay. First of all, I'm not throwing heat on Jim by saying that the fun parts are the parts that Al did, because I don't think Jim's aim is to be fun. He's not trying to be a fun guy.
No.
He's a bloody, I don't know where to go with that. Look, it's a really good choice. Mm-hmm. The end.
Yeah.
I played it this year. Every year I make my son play a game with me on my birthday. Every year was Space Quest. I actually messaged Anna about this conundrum. But it's like every year was Space Quest. Since he was literally 1. It's my birthday present is he has to play an adventure game with me. And we've been running through the Space Quest series. So this year was our 11th year doing that. which means we've made it all the way through at least once, right? Everyone out there is keeping track of the math. And this year, I don't know where I'm going with this. Look, this year we decided to play Police Quest instead,
Right.
and and it was a fun time. He actually had a lot of fun. He actually got up and raged out over crashing and dying so many times. And that's just, isn't that just like the apple in my eye? Wait, no, that's like a romance thing. Is the
No, it's
it warms your cold
apple
Jewish
of your
heart
eye is
to
like,
see your son rage quit as you once have.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, isn't the apple of your eye doesn't? Oh, is that a cute thing? I thought it meant like because he's
Yeah.
just like me.
Right, like maybe it is, but I don't know. Anyway, Police Quest, good
Right.
choice.
Good choice.
Number 5. We're still on number 5. Now it's my turn. That's how
Yes.
this works. Good. I also picked Police Quest, but I picked Police Quest 2.
Oh my
for
God,
number
I
5.
was so having trouble which one of them to pick.
Dude,
so I'm
same,
so
geez.
glad you picked the other one.
Yeah, I know. This worked out really, really good.
Oh my
Exactly.
God,
'Cause
that's
it
beautiful.
really is.
And you know, the only reason I didn't pick the second one is I like the driving in the first one. But I love the storyline and
yeah.
the plot and so much about the second one that you're about to tell us about.
Well, the reason I picked the second one over the first was because of this caveat. It has to be the Japanese version. So it's Police Quest 2, the Japanese version, is my official 5th choice because it's... Look, I don't use this word lightly, but the graphics in this game are bananas. It's absolutely just wacky that this got through. And as longtime listeners in the show know that it was one of my peaks in my life was getting to tell Ken Williams that it existed because he didn't know about that. That it was, that there was this crazy, wacky Japanese version of one of his games floating around there with like anime level art and neon colored hair, and it's just so fun to look at. Everything's so weird and interesting, and Keith is in it. It's the greatest sidekick of all time. The most nihilistic sidekick of all time. Anyway, useless. All of the above. Okay. So you play as Sonny Bonds. You're back at it again. There's no Death Angel in this story, which I think is good because I didn't like actually how he came back in the third one. Like they should have just let that be a closed situation. But it's its own story. You get to do fun stuff like scuba diving. You actually prevent 9/11, which is wild. Like it's just what a day that Sonny was having. He's just out here finding dead bodies in the ravine, and then they hopping on a plane and stopping a terrorist attack or whatever from happening. You got you got Sweet Cheeks is with you. Crazy that's actually her name. That's wild. This is definitely 1980, probably 8 or 9, probably 9. Anyway, it's a fun game. It loosens up a little bit. It loosens up a little bit. The gun having to deal with your gun sucks. But anyway, other than that, it's a super fun game. The Japanese version has just the greatest graphics of all time. If you haven't played it and you want to play it and you can't find the Japanese version, let me know. But I think by now it's spilled into the internet.
Yeah, it's out there now for sure.
But man, it was not when I found it. I had to literally get a 90 gigabyte. Should I be saying this? Yeah, whatever. I'll omit certain words. I had to get the entire FM Towns archive, and then from that, I was able to get the disc images, and from that, it was took forever to bloody find the software that would extract FM Towns disc images. and that's how it ended up getting done. But before that, I was so obsessed with this that I actually, with somebody else at the time, Charles, I think Evanson, we found just the views, the Japanese views, and we injected them into the American version of the game using SCI Companion.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so nerdy. Anyway,
Super nerdy.
Yeah, that's number 5. Okay, what's your number 4?
All right, good choice. So my number 4 is it was my first sexy game experience. Probably know what it is already.
I don't know which one though.
The first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, because your first experience, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this game, it was...
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Sorry.
Yeah. So this game was actually originally a fully text game. So it wasn't graphics at all, and it had like a nameless protagonist. And our lovely Al Lowe came along and used the story as kind of a jumping point, and he created Leisure Suit Larry and all the games that were from it. So the story and the idea came from another game, but the idea of Larry...
Are you not saying the name on purpose? That's the second time you had a chance to, and you referred to it as
I thought I did
game.
already. I just Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards.
No, the game that it came from.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, blanked on my head. What is that one again?
Oh gosh, so sorry. I did not mean for this to be me calling you out on not remembering it. I'm so sorry.
The one
Because
with Roberta Williams on the cover, and
porn.
it's a hot... thank you, soft porn.
But I thought maybe because it's porn, you were like not saying it for some reason.
No,
You know what I mean?
I'm not good at not saying things. I
wasn't trying to take you to task on that. My bad.
I have renovations going on, and I'm very strategically trying to mute around hammer banks. I just got distracted.
No, fair enough. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So Leisure Suit Larry won that Land of the Lounge Lizards. You already said text parser, so that means you played the original before the remake.
Yes, absolutely. And my dad gave it to me and said, "Here, try this game." And I don't know, I was like 10 or something like that. And I had trouble getting the questions right to get in, and my dad wasn't always around. So what I ended up doing was I just kept track of it. I wrote down all the questions and all the answers, and then I was able to, by process of elimination, this one was wrong, this one was wrong, this was wrong, figure out all the right answers, and just made a little chart database. And then I was able to get in no matter who was home. And essentially, you're a guy, you've left your mom's house, you go to like Lost Wages, Las Vegas, and you gamble, and you go to a bar, and you trick a bouncer and make friends with a drunk and try not to flood a bathroom. And throughout all of that, you end up getting married. And that culminates not very well in the second game. But yeah, it's
You made it sound oddly wholesome.
It was a great game. I had
It's
a lot
about
of
a
fun
guy
with it.
finding love and getting married. That's Leisure Suit Larry
Well,
won.
I don't know, love in quotation marks. I learned that if you're going to sleep with a lady of the night, you have to wear a prophylactic, and otherwise you'll get VD. I learned about that for the first time, and I learned how to spell prophylactic, which was pretty cool. And I learned that if you leave the lady of the night's house and you leave the prophylactic on, you get arrested. Those are very important lessons for a preteen.
Yeah. Right, absolutely. This is the place you should have been learning it from, too. Yeah. It's a lot.
I learned to look at a woman before I tried to grope her.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And disco dancing. It connected really well with me because I was a huge fan of Three's Company, and Larry, who was the used car dealer, and Larry from the game. I made that connection in my head, and I was just like, it was just the biggest in-joke in the world to me. I loved it all.
That's right. You have a weird crush on that guy.
I have a crush on Jack.
Yeah. What's his real
Jack
name?
Tripper. Jack Tripper's real name?
Yeah.
John, let's see.
John something. Yeah, that's what it is. John something.
Jack Tripper name.
Sorry.
I'm going to look this one up too.
Yeah.
John Ritter. And yes, I have a huge crush on John Ritter. I mean, not now, obviously. But yeah, I loved him. Loved him all the way through. Now, the reason I did was because in Three's Company, A, he's adorable. B, he's good friends with the girls. And C, he's a chef. And I have quite a soft spot for all of those things.
Okay. What age did you stop loving him? Because you're like, not now.
I never stopped loving him. I just meant because he's not alive.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yeah, he died of a heart attack while he was filming the 8 Simple Rules show with the girl from Married with Children, Katie Seagal, and he was the dad. And he passed away in the middle of filming the show. They ended up bringing somebody else in, but I stopped watching it then. And he was in Problem Child, and I don't know, he was in a bunch of cool stuff.
Man. Okay. We're on number 4, right?
Yeah, you like my choice then? My choice okay?
Oh, I don't know. Larry 1 is a weird game for me. It's so short. It's like there's not a lot that goes on, but it is iconic. And I think I might have, no, that's not true. I was going to say like the VGA more, but that's not true. VGA 1 was just fun, but it's not better.
I like it because it's a concept, I guess.
Is it in there as like the representation of what Larry is to you in a sense? Or is it your second favorite Larry? What's your favorite Larry game?
Well, I can't tell you because
Are you serious?
I haven't. Well, no, I mean because we're in a list.
No, I know. Are you?
Because if it was my favorite one and more a favorite than this one, it would be on my list, wouldn't it?
I just can't believe there's another one. Okay, that's fair. Jesus.
I didn't say there was, but if there was, it would have to be more favorite than this, wouldn't it?
All right. Okay.
I wouldn't want to spoil anything for anybody. Okay, what is your number 4?
My number 4. Okay, this is where it's officially really hard. For the first 4, it was a really difficult thing. Sorry, I didn't want to spoil. I realize I can't go down that farther, or I'll just spoil stuff. Okay, I'm gonna try and do that thing you did that was cool with the revealing. This game is. How do you do that? How do you do that? This game is. When I think of exploration in adventure games, I think of this game. I think of spending hours and hours and hours and days as a kid walking around and trying to discover every bit of hidden descriptive text that there was.
One of the Space Quest games, probably.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Space Quest 3.
One? 3? Okay.
Yeah, Pirates of Pestilon.
Figured it would have been one of those.
I love this game. If anybody's ever seen me on like a camera situation, seen the giant poster behind me. It's from 1989, which there's a theme here. I've said on the show many times before that SCI 0 was peak Sierra, and it's well represented in this list because this is now the 4th SCI 0 game out of 6 or whatever that math is. But anyway, yeah, Space Quest 3 is about you pick up as Roger Wilco as. I like how Space Quest links all the titles together, right? So you start this game as a continuation of where the second one left off, and you basically have to rescue the creators of the series, the two guys from Andromeda. So the developers of the game need to be rescued within their own game from a sinister sinister game company called Scumsoft. It's very obviously LucasArts, their rivals at the time. And yeah, I mean, so you're basically good old Roger. You're a janitor in space, which, I mean, I'm still just tickled by that alone. Just the reminder of, like, no matter how far humanity goes from here, like, no matter how cool the future is, like, you might still just be, like, the janitor in that scenario.
It's like no matter how great you are, still somewhere, somehow, you are still a space janitor inside.
Yes. It's also one of my favorite examples of there's so many situations where originality is brought into critique, and it's like in a day and age where there's just like nothing original anymore because we've used all the things. I like Space Quest 3 because it's not, Space Quest in general, because it's not an original idea. They definitely took this idea from Planetfall, the Infocom game, which is about a janitor in space. Yeah. But I guess it just kind of goes to show that it's like what they've done with it far superseded where the idea even came from, right? Because many people remember Space Quest, and not so much with Planetfall. But anyway, it's just a super good game. And rewards exploration. You get to go around and look at and interact. But it's a parser, so you don't know, you don't even know necessarily, like, you don't know what's there to see, right? Like sometimes with the parser games, especially with these really low resolution pixel art, like you weren't sure that little cluster of rocks was actually a cluster of rocks that you could look at. It's also the game that broke Ron Gilbert when he picks up the piece of metal in the very beginning of Space Quest 3 and you bleed out and die. That's, I think, was the last straw that made him write Why Adventure Games Suck, the infamous article, and changed his design philosophy. And in a weird way, Monkey Island is here because of Space Quest 3, which is not true, but it's also not true.
Plus, it has famous people in it. You've got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Elmo. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger is technically like Ani, the Terminator, but he's like an android Terminator, and Elmo has absolutely nothing to do with Elmo. It's Elmo Pug.
Right, thank you, Elmo Pug, that's it.
Yeah.
Fester Blatz is in it.
Yeah.
You got the Griswold wagon shows up. I'm a big fan of that. So anyway, that's Space Quest 3. It's a super fun game, really oddly meta, and you end up at the end rescuing the developers of the game and dropping them off at Sierra at the end. Well played.
Right. A hard game because it's also a parser, and it's another game that wouldn't pause when you're typing. For me, at least, playing it growing up. So it was always one of those games I was more intimidated by, and I've only played it with a walkthrough.
Monolith Burger is in it.
Monolith
right?
Burger's in there, yep.
Fucking, what's his name? Astro Chicken?
Yep.
It's great. A lot of iconic moments in this game. The soundtrack is unbelievable.
Oh, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's good.
Yeah,
Now
it's a
it's
really
all
memorable game, right?
Yeah,
It's,
I like that.
each act in the game has a highly memorable part. The soundtrack is one of my favorites. We'll talk about someday, and
Oh
the
yeah, and
themes-
Ken gets featured, and I love any game that has Ken in it. That was like, I know it was fun to find other characters in other games. Like for example, in Police Quest 2, you'll see Leisure Suit Larry just sitting up at the airport, and I always lived for that. But what I really lived for was Ken being referenced in the game, because Ken is the god of Sierra, and it's like he's the one that you'd want to just see randomly in a game, and it was just the biggest deal. And the designers would often have to sneak stuff in there, and he wouldn't even know about it. And so I loved it when they did stuff like that.
Yeah. One of the best examples of that was Space Quest 1. You had to find version 1.0x, so the very, very first release of it. And if you entered, what is it? I think if you just type Ken, or it's if you choose the name Ken for your name, then he walks out, and it is not flattering. He's quite big. He's quite large, and then he found out about it, and it was patched.
Yeah, you have to get the right version, which is why you have to know somebody who collects versions of games.
Right, got you.
Yeah. So, okay, good. Then I suppose we're on to my number 3.
Yes.
So, this was my first real adventure game. Do you know what it is? Is that enough of a clue?
Man, your first adventure game.
My very first real adventure game. It was made in 1988. And you have to do a task.
Is it King's Quest 4?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, again, day-night cycles, and so Rosella, she wants to save her dad, which is King Graham, and it's kind of funny because in the game she gets sucked into ultimately a side quest to figure it out. Now she's like, I have to save a fairy queen, I have to defeat an evil fairy, and I have to make enemies with the entire unicorn species. And I don't know, it's the kind of game that stuck with me. I think because it took me a year and 2 months to finish it. I wanted to win the trip to England, but I didn't get the full points. It was a female protagonist, which was a really huge deal for me, being a girl, obviously, and wanting to find a game where somebody represented me. And plus, it was my first introduction into adventure games in general. So for all those reasons and more, it has made number 3 on my list.
Nice. Very good. That makes me excited to find out what your number 2 and 1 is, because I probably would have guessed that as your number 1.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, we shall find out. Okay, my number 3 is... Oh, right, do the thing. It's it's bloody... Man, how do you do this? It takes place back in the day. What's the day? Don't know.
Okay.
It could be bloody a long time ago. Not as good as this you are. Look, it's the Dagger von Monra. I don't know how to...
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. That was painful.
So you could have been like, it's a beautifully hand-painted game. It's set in a museum.
Yeah, okay, right, that's fair. Museum would have gave it away. Look, anyway.
would have.
It's a game from 92. It's a 1920s theme game. Point and click murder mystery where journalism student Laura Bow investigates the theft of a priceless Egyptian artifact from the Leyendecker Museum in New York. Trapped inside with suspects after a murder at the gala, she must navigate clues and multiple deaths to expose the culprit. So you're locked in to a beautifully designed art museum with a real bloody cast of characters. All these people are just the worst and the wackiest.
And then you have to interview them for like 80% of the game.
Yeah, very dialogue heavy. A lot of talking to people, taking notes. If anyone's watched One Short Eyes video on it, and if you haven't, you should, then you'll know that a lot of your note-taking and effort is for no reason, because the way the game is wired up, This is pretty wacky. But it's just, I just love this game. It's there's nothing about it that is rational. Like the rational mind shouldn't love this game because it's really deeply flawed, kind of broken, very broken. I mean, it's really, 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 really
now
broken.
because of One Short Eyes video, we know how broken it actually is.
Right. Yeah, if you play it once, you can be gaslit into thinking the game knew what it was doing the whole time. If you play it twice, then there's like a few cracks emerge, and you're like, huh. If you play it 3 times, then you'll be on to what he exposes in the video, where you're like, I don't know if this game is tracking. Okay, but it's a murder mystery, and it feels like a murder mystery, and that's what we want. You know, I want that Clue vibe. I want that who's gonna be next sort of vibe. When next time the power goes out for a second, who's gonna be dead when it comes back on, sort of thing. It's really hard. But if you honestly, this is a great candidate for a walkthrough.
Even with a walkthrough, it's kind of challenging.
Right, and because it's much more about like immersion into the characters and the story and the dialogue and just kind of getting into it and trying to figure out who you think did it. Even if you've played it once and you know more or less who did it, there is subplots that you can try to be working out as you're playing, and it just feels like a murder mystery. The setting is awesome. The 1920s vibe is real. The Lion Decker, just the art. What's the name of the it's not Bohemian. Well, whatever. Looks great.
Good.
So, number 2.
Right. And I was feeling I really should have had that on my list for all sorts of various reasons, and it got shuffled off of the list, and I feel terrible for that. I don't know if you're going to forgive me.
I'm not even sure. I'm actually surprised that it's not on Art Deco. Fucking there it was. It would come to me eventually. Anyway, I wasn't really expecting it on your list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad. All right. Well then, my number 2 pick is a game from 1991, and it is a sequel in a series. It includes a lot of fourth wall breaks and meta humor. It has hand-painted backgrounds. It is a point-and-click game.
When you say sequel, you don't mean number 2, though, do you?
No, I don't.
Right. Because that wouldn't line up if it's already point-and-click.
Last clue, time travel.
Wow, Space Quest 4?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really surprising. Okay, do tell.
All right. Well, it was my very first Space Quest game and my very first point-and-click game. My very first a kind of game that I'd experienced anything with that kind of humor in it. And I didn't even know how much I loved fourth wall breaks until I played this game. It made me laugh. It was crude. It was sassy. I got to go to a bloody mall and sort through video games and go to the skating galleria and an arcade. It was the strangest, most wonderful, most beautiful, most scariest game I'd ever played because, it's frightening right from the very beginning when you get captured or you accidentally take the unstable ordnance or it had so much action in it. But yeah, and the time travel. I'm kind of obsessed with time travel. I've always been obsessed with time travel. And when they started going through different entries in the series, I was hooked. I have replayed that game more times than I can count, and I always find something fun and interesting in it. I love the animation, like when the bird's carrying him away and he gets dropped in the nest, and there's just so many great bits in here.
Yeah, here. That's a good choice. It's a really memorable game, kind of like we were saying with Space Quest 3. There's a lot of individual scenes that just jump out at you when you think of the game. Walking around the mall for me was still huge as a kid because I felt that sense of agency, being able to go anywhere and do anything sort of vibe. And you're right. When you said scary, I was like, but the beginning is quite scary with the mutant guy and
really, and it screams that noise it makes. It was mentioned in the podcast episode with Ken briefly, but the noise that it makes is just freaky.
Yeah. I like the dystopian backdrop. It has kind of Blade Runner vibes, like the giant Tyrell-looking building in the background. It's cool. Yeah, good shout. Okay, my pick for number 2 is right. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. Actually, I guess I'm going to try 2 more times since we're at number 2. This one is about I don't know how to not to just ruin it with one word right now, which I really want to do. It's about voodoo.
Oh, wow. That one made it in too?
It did, yeah.
Wow. So I'm actually pretty surprised. I'm shocked. I do know what it is.
Shocked are you?
Yeah. No, I'm a little shocked. I didn't think they'd both make it into the top 10.
Man, I guess that's fair. It's Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. Mm-hmm. It's about you play Gabriel.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Thank you. If somebody had to do it. Follow Gabriel as a New Orleans bookstore owner and aspiring author, and you investigate a series of voodoo-themed murders that are happening around town. And okay, that's fair. But you start out investigating voodoo in general for the next novel that you're writing, and then it spills into real life. And he ends up uncovering a dark family curse, finding out that he is the last of the Schattenjägers, which is German for shadow hunters. Mm-hmm. That plays out a lot more, a bit at the end of this game, and then a lot more in the second game. But it's a phenomenally written game. It's the first Sierra game that had a bona fide writer write it. And you can tell Jane Jensen does just a phenomenal job. I was thinking about this when I put on the list. Gabriel Knight 2 is actually, I think, a better written game. But this is like Gabriel Knight 2 is really neutered by the fact that it's FMV, I guess, is what it comes down to for me personally. Because the Gabriel Knight 1 being pixel art is just gorgeous. It's the best looking Sierra game. And I shouldn't understate that, right? If part of you, Anna, is surprised that it's in my top 3, the art is a huge part of it. It's such a gorgeous game. The shadow work. To be fair, LucasArts almost always outperforms Sierra in the art department, and this is an exception. This game is I think almost like their crown jewel as far as the at least the pixel art era of games. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. The story's phenomenal. It's super spooky at the end. Like really spooky. Going through the catacombs at the end. It was intense in my 30s. It's just super good. It's so fun. The voice acting crew is phenomenal. You got what's her name from King of Queens? Is that where she's from? No.
Leah Marine. Yeah, she's from King of Queens, and she was also in Saved by the Bell as in the college years as the daughter of the person who managed the pool house that was also the boss of Zach and them. So she ended up becoming an impromptu love interest for Zach for quite a few episodes.
Very fun. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I knew her more as escaped from Scientology / Grace Nakamura. Right. But you got Luke Skywalker. He's in it.
Yeah.
Bloodies Mosley, I think, and Worf is in there as well. The guy who played Worf. So good stuff. I'm all done with. Oh, okay. Hold on. So we're gonna move on to number 1, but before we do, we're gonna do some honorable mentions because this isn't a top 10 list. It's secretly a top 12 or 13 list because Anna and I both have just a few we have to quickly mention.
Yes.
You go first, though.
Yes, we do. Hold on a minute.
Okay, she's pulling hers up. I'll go first.
Okay.
Because my bloody honorable mentions is Police Quest 1, which Anna had us covered for, so I don't even need to say it. But that was really tough to omit because growing up, Police Quest 1, Space Quest, actually 2, and Gold Rush were the first 3 games that we owned. And so I played them just over and over and over and over again. And it almost pains me to have to leave Police Quest 1 off of the list because of the nostalgia factor. But
I was kind of surprised, but I understand why.
Yeah, right, exactly. But it's just, man, if it wasn't for the Japanese version of 2, it absolutely would have been on. But that Japanese is just too good it's what won it over. The other honorable mention, 2 honorable mentions is, by the way, something that I should have mentioned off the bat at the start of the show is that Dynamix games are purposefully off this list. So yeah, you could probably imagine what honorable mention I would be saying there if it was Dynamix, but we established these rules.
About it, yes.
Yeah, very good. So anyway, the last 2 was Echo Quest. Which is really both of them. They're really fun. They're just really good games. I just had the best experience playing that with Strummer recently, and that kind of solidified it. and then the other one is Freddy Farkas.
Right.
Which almost got on there, but Phantasmagoria 2 is just so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I stand by my choice, in other words, but it was neck and neck with Phantas 2 for that 10th spot.
Good call on all of those. Okay, my honorable mentions are Sierra Championship Boxing from 1983, because it was my very first sports boxing game. I spent a ton of time on it, and it wasn't just about boxing. It was about character creations and fiddling with things like the times of the match and TKOs and all the other stats that were in there, and eventually fighting the kangaroo. So I spent many, 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 many hundreds of hours playing Sierra Boxing growing up.
You Canadians are weird with boxing, so that makes sense. You have a whole day about it.
Yeah, we have a whole day about it and stuff. So
does that day have anything to do with boxing? It can't, surely.
No, it doesn't. I think it
What about putting things in boxes?
I don't know why it's called Boxing Day. That's a great question.
Okay. Well, what's your other honorable mentions? Unless you're looking up what Boxing Day is.
No, I'm looking up why called Boxing Day on
All right, I'm
Google.
actually glad you are. I'll keep saying words so you can keep looking it up. Look, guys, over here. I'm distracting you from Anna looking stuff up. What other wacky things?
Okay, hang on. It has nothing. Okay, right. I see. It refers to boxes of goods or money. Historically in Britain. Ah, I see. Wealthy households gave boxed gifts to servants and tradespeople on December 26th.
Man, it's so stuffy and proper. Jesus Christ.
My God. Okay, fine. So anyways, Conquest of Camelot, The Search for the Grail is 1990. That's a Christy Marks game, and you're essentially reliving King Arthur's court days. It's all based in, as much as you can base something in facts, being that it's not entirely a true story, finding the Holy Grail. But the reason it made it to the honorable mentions is because of the riddles, because it became a whole family project, me and my mom and my dad working together to try to figure out ways to solve these riddles, because we didn't have hint books or anything else. And it would just made it sort of a family game. So it was rather important to me.
Rather.
And lastly, Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire, because I couldn't fit enough of them into my list. The 5th game in the series is beautiful for me. I love it. I also think it has a fantastic ending where you actually can choose to marry, rescue, or do other things that are something you wouldn't ordinarily get a chance to do. So.
You must fucking love this game, because it is not beautiful. Like, it must, I mean, Jesus Christ. That makes me want to play it. Like, it must have the greatest personality.
It does. It's, it's like if you met Quest for Glory 5 at the bar with a little bit of makeup, you would definitely take it home. And maybe the next morning you'd be like, ugh. But it would be cooking you breakfast and making you a fresh coffee. And you'd be like, okay.
Dude, I don't know about that. Like, if I was in prison, I'd be like, okay, I'll take you home. But I don't know about, like, in a bar, dude. This is...
It's a dark
It's just
bar.
the worst late 90s, early polygon 3D looking mess. Like black, starch black background.
So the other reason it made it onto my list is it is the one Quest for Glory game that all of my boys have enjoyed so much so that my oldest son would speed run it and I'd play it with the kids. And it was really, if you're trying to get
Tell
a
him to
kid...
fucking hook me up, man. How do I speed run this shit?
It's actually quite easy. I think you can finish the game in...
Oh, isn't this the one with the first screen?
No, not this one, I think. Maybe now. I mean,
something
maybe
like through a stone wall, you can like jump almost all the way to the end or something? I don't know.
Okay, so now, after all of this waiting, I'm sure everybody is super wondering what my number one is. So, it's so easy. So this is a parser game. It is from 1989. It did get a remake, and it's the very first hybrid adventure game where you combine role-playing and point and click. So the answer, of course, is Hero's Quest. So you want to be a hero. Yes, with the original title, because that's what I got. I got the original box. And there's also, by the way, a Japanese version that is pretty fantastic and looks really cool. And the box is really cool for it. But anyways, yes.
But it doesn't have wild anime art is the problem. But the box is cool.
The box is cool, though. But no, same art. But anyways, yes, this one is a bit of a grind. You can, again, choose to be a fighter, a magic user, or a thief. And you arrive in the town of Spielberg, and look at that. They need a hero. And it was my first introduction to the ability to choose hero classes and to grind to max my stats. And it really started me on the road of playing that kind of game. It would lead directly into games like Baldur's Gate, for example, or any Neverwinter Nights, let's say, stuff like that. So it was a game changer for me because it opened up my whole world to the different types of games that I would play. And plus it was beautiful and it was funny, and I replay it at least once every single year. And it is a game series where you can take your character and carry it over through all of the games. So it's just got so much going on. And Baba Yaga. So yeah, that's my number one for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
You have mastered that game like a violinist masters a sonata. You've just I remember when I was playing it, you were able to immediately visualize exactly where I was at and where I had come from and what I had to do next. And I was like, she does play this every year. What a bloody nerd. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I like how you said Heroes whatever instead of Quest for Glory to make it sound more diversified. That was clever. and earned, right? I mean, that is the original name. Mm-hmm.
That they
not
took
lawsuit,
away.
but pre-threatened lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's
to be expected.
Of all the things you said about it, it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun game to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my second favorite Quest for Glory game so far. I'm pretty sure it's safe in second, with 5 being the only one left. But who knows? Who knows? Going into it with an open mind.
I'm so excited for you to play the 5th one.
I shouldn't have looked up how long it was taking people on YouTube. That really took some wind out of my sails. I'm like, this is 7 hours minimum. Okay, all right. Okay, so my number one pick is
Give it to me.
a point and click game.
Ooh.
Right? That was a little surprising even for me. It involves a conspiracy.
Ooh.
Involving toxic waste dumping.
Ooh.
Which causes mutations across the galaxy.
Wait, isn't that LucasArts? Are we talking about Day of the Tentacle?
Dropped the mightiest of balls. No, it is Space Quest 5.
Yes.
The next mutation. Our favorite bloody janitor turned hero. Well, now he's a janitor turned hero because we're on the 5th one. And Space Quest, give credit, I think it's the only Sierra game where the protagonist actually has an arc. Mm-hmm. I mean, Quest for Glory, there's caveat, there's asterisk marks there, right? Because you could change classes and you're kind of, I don't know. As far as like a baked-in, hard-coded arc, let's say, because so much is up to the user with Quest for Glory.
Didn't it have the same guy that did the graphics? Didn't Sean Sharp do the graphics for Willy Beamish too? Because he did the graphics for Space Quest 5.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It has the same, you can tell by the color palette.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about that, like, vague beige color in the beginning of Space Quest 5. Scott Murphy used to call it Roger Beamish. Mm-hmm. Something like that. I remember reading that in the Sierra Adventure book. Yeah, it definitely has Willy Beamish vibes as far as the art's concerned. But yeah, you're Roger. You're now a hero by the 5th game. That's going to pretty much get taken away from you in the 6th and final game, cruelly. But this is peak Roger, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially
like
by the end of this game.
dream-achieving Roger. Like,
yeah,
everything
exactly.
he's ever wanted. Like, the end of the series, you would almost think.
Yeah, Roger's, like, fully clean in his room and like, got his shit together. And basically, okay. All that being said, he does cheat on his StarCon test, aptitude test in the beginning to become captain of the garbage scow, the SC5 Eureka or SCS Eureka, I mean. And he gets a whole crew to manage, and the crew is super witty and fun, and Roger uncovers a conspiracy involving toxic waste dumping, which is causing mutations across the galaxy, and he must stop a villainous plot to save the universe. With a lot of Star Trek parodying along the way. I picked this game. It was really tough between this and Space Quest 3. And you could interchange them at any time. Like, which is weird because Space Quest 3, I put at number 4. And I'd happily switch these out at any moment because I just really can't decide which one. I just... You know, I don't know. I don't even know how much that makes sense because I have Gabriel Knight and Dagger in between them. But, like, when it comes to picking the favorite one, I always come to these two. But I picked Space Quest 5 ultimately because it's just the funniest game to me. I'm not sure I've played a game that made me laugh more and actually made me laugh out loud several times. It's got the point and click interface, I think, is better than Parser when it comes to exploring your environment, because exploring your environment in a Parser game is kind of like being in the desert. Like, you don't even know what to begin to tell the game to look at.
Right. What's in the dev's mind? You got to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. As I said earlier with the Space Quest 3 was like the rocks example. Like, you don't know when it's like this pile of rocks is meant to be looked at or not.
Right.
And usually it's not, so it kind of trains you to not look for tiny little things, but then sometimes it is. And so anyway, having a point and click interface is really nice because you know what you can click on and what you can't. Without hotspot markers, you don't need that shit. You just need to see your environment.
6 is a little harder anyways to pick out what you need to click on where, because it's so detailed and the camera is so backed off, so everything is so tiny and nothing super duper differentiates it. It's funny though, because the 5th Space Quest, so obviously voice acting isn't important to you then, because the 4th one had voice and the 5th one doesn't.
Yeah, well, two things. While we're on Space Quest 6, I was just looking at something yesterday that had polysorbate in the ingredients. It might have been lube, if I'm... I don't know what it was, but it was... I didn't know that was a real thing. I didn't know polysorbate was like an actual...
Polysorbate 60, that's what it is called in real life.
Okay, very cool.
It's a preservative. Did you know that Space Quest 5 was the only Space Quest game, and actually it was one of like maybe 2 Sierra titles that were sponsored, right? So it was sponsored by Sprint. Obviously, you'll see the logo in the game. Yes. You've got the Friends and Aliens plan. I think Leisure Suit Larry was the other one that was sponsored by a real-life company, but it's kind of funny.
Right. Damn, that siren stopped like right next to you. Oh, wait, you pressed mute. Okay. I was like, fuck, you better check on Steve down the street, man.
No,
down the stairs,
okay.
Make sure y'all good in there. You're right. You mentioned the talkie thing. Yeah, I my stance on talkie situations, voice acted games, is they either ruin it or I don't know how to neatly put that in a package anymore. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think talkie's necessary. So, like, they risk ruining it when they nail it. It's just it's good.
EcoQuest.
I don't know, when they nail it, sometimes like they hold you back though. Like the voice acting's great, but you know, you do this all the time where they'll read too slow for you. So you'll just read it yourself anyway and click past the talking. Me
playing a voice game is, so you went into the, and then you, and everyone around me is just looking at me going, what the fuck that's so annoying. And I'm like, oh, is it? Like, all innocently. Because to me, it's not. Because I'm like, what? I've already read the thing. What?
Yeah, you don't even hear it. Right, you can't hear it because you're reading. I do value voice acting talkie games for when I play with Strum. Right. That really helps. It helps hook him a lot. And like I always go into the non-voice acted games like, I'll voice it and we'll have so much fun doing it. It's fucking exhausting. Like trying to sell it to a kid, like with, really giving it your all acting wise. It's exhausting. It's not sustainable. So yeah, really, I kind of do need talkie versions for playing with Strum, but but alas, Space Quest 5 picking it because it's super funny. Yep, good choice. That is.
All right, so now we're going to take a minute to do our tabulations. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. All right, so I am back from the big computational time of calculators and arguments, and really it's taken me days to figure this out. It only feels like a minute for you, but for us it's been a really, really long time. But it turns out we have a definitive answer. We actually have an actual winner of a game that has more points than any other game, and this game has scored 8 from me and 3 from Paul, giving it a total of 11 points to put it into the number 1 spot.
And as a quick reminder, the points are assigned by the position on the top 10. So it gets 8 points for Anna because it's in, 3rd place?
Yeah.
And it gets 3 points for me because it was in 8th place.
Exactly. And so the winner is...
Nice.
King's Quest IV, The Perils of Rosella. And we're going to give an honorable mention to Gold Rush, Heroes Quest, and Space Quest 5 because all 3 of them got 10 points.
Right. Very fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. I just now get what we were doing. Okay. Because I was thinking, though, I'm like, how can we do a whole combined top 10 of all of ours? Okay, so it's not about that. It's just about the first place and some honorable mentions. Very fun.
That's right, because Gold Rush got 5 from me and 5 from you to give it 10 points. That's how it got second place. But Heroes Quest was my top spot. Space Quest 5 was your top spot. And that's how that one also got 10 points.
How many points did Rosella get then?
Rosella got 11 points, 8 plus 3, and the only game on our whole list to receive 11 points.
Right. That's fair. I feel good with that. I feel okay with that.
It's the first time I actually feel okay with it, too. Well, that's great. So here it is. Now, what's your ranking, and what games would you choose if you were to rank them? I'd love to hear it from you. Send us a private message because, okay, so we have an update on the email. I guess they thought that there was some sort of a scammer and they locked us out of it. And that's why we haven't been able to.
Oh, we're back in now, though.
Are we back in now?
Yeah, me and Anna don't communicate about our email situation very well.
Clearly.
we usually just talk about it right here and right now.
Right.
But yeah, send us an email at don'tdoamurder@gmail.com.
Okay. Good. Perfect. That's the one. And we'll have that in the show notes as well. So awesome. And I would like to say a huge thank you to Patreon for keeping the lights running and the microphones going. We have a couple of new members. I just want to say thanks for joining to Modnock, Vic the Rebel, and Daniel. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon. Nice to meet all of you. I hope you enjoy your time here.
Ciao ragazzi.
Yeah, and outside of that, I would really love to say an extra special thank you to the true believers, Gareth, Mick, Jeffrey, Mark, Brian, Chapman, Christopher, and Yanis, and Tim. Thank you. Not only are you keeping the lights on, but you're putting a little bit of LED color change into them, so we're getting a bit of an atmosphere, so thank you. Actually, no, the light in this room, we broke. I was helping to install this light, and I was helping, and I didn't do it proper, and the brand new light shade fell off the light and smashed onto the floor next to my son. It scared the shit out of him. And so we have a new replacement, but I might not install the second one.
Yeah, please don't.
Right. Any news updates or anything that you want to say on the game design dev side of things?
No, but there will be one day soon. There's a lot of good stuff going on. I'm working real hard on stuff like all the time.
Right. I see things and I know things everybody else doesn't. So that's very exciting. Soon other people will know things too. Otherwise, yes, join our group on Facebook. We're a page and we're a group, but the Classic Gamers Guild. You can check us out on Twitter at CGG Podcast and at Mastodon and at Bluestakai and Instagram. You can also go to thephantomfellows.com and get all the little goodies and things you need for your gameplay when you're playing the Phantom Fellows. And leave it a review, buy an extra copy, tell somebody else about it, post it on your page, share something that we've said about it. Just anything just to get the word out there and keep it going. I think we mentioned, or we might not have, that the Phantom Fellows won the Chainsaw Award, which is pretty cool because it doesn't just mean you're good at chopping down trees. It actually means that you're making adventure games that engage the community and have some meaning behind it and some depth. So it's really nice to get paid attention to out there in the wild, wild world where it seems like everybody and their dog is making an adventure game nowadays. And join us on Patreon, as I said, Classic Gamers Guild.
Sound like you just shut yourself up. That was very weird.
I have a lot of self-discipline.
And all the things Anna said. If leave the podcast a review. If you see a thing, rethink it, retweet it, share it, whatever. Put some eyes on it. Chuck us a buck. I don't know what other podcasters say. Don't do murder.
One sec. I like your list, by the way. It's very nice.
Oh, your list is super good, too.
Super good. Okay, one sec.